וכולם משבחים ומפארים את שם חולו. And all the angelic beings, the spiritual beings, are praising and glorifying the name of Hashem. Not even God himself, the name of Hashem. Good morning. Today is Chav Daled Adar Sheini, and we are getting ready for Parshat HaChodesh and Nisan. Alle gute Sachen. Now we are on page Kuf Pei Ches. In the old edition, Kuf Mem Beis. And we are talking about the Bitul of the Nefesh HaBahamis. We said that there is a Eish Milamata and Eish Milamaila. And Eish Milamata is the Izboinenus on the Malep, Sukkot Zimra, and so on. And Eish Shelemaila is Izboinenus on the Ispilus of the Malachim, relating to their source, Malchus of Atzilus. Let's start again the last paragraph on page Kuf Pei Ches. We are really 4 lines from the bottom of that paragraph. But let's start the paragraph again and read it through. Omnam, however, בחינת ביטול זה דנפש הבהמיס, מה שנכלל באש של למעלה דאריה דאכיל קורבנין, הוא בבחינת ביטול היש. The ביטול of נפש הבהמיס, even by the אש מלמעלה, which means after reflecting on the ביטול of the malachim, which are their spiritual source of the Nefesh HaBahamis, the bitul that is accomplished is called bitul hayesh. And that means that there is a yesh, and the yesh subjects himself and submits himself. Hainu b'chinas iskafia levad. It's only iskafia. It's not a transformation. Ki klalus habitul de malachim ub'chinas bitul de shem ban. Generally, the bitul of malachim is bitul of shem ban. Shem ban, we can say this, Shem ma and Shem ban. Shem ma represents, the soivev represents that which is beyond, the infinite. And Shem ma, that's the name of 45. When you spell out Yud Kei Vav Kei, the 2 letters that are spelled differently are the Hey and the Vav. Yud is always spelled the same. So the Hey, when it's spelled with an Aleph, and the Vav, the Hey and the Vav, when they are spelled with an Aleph, which means Hey Aleph and Vav Aleph Vav, then in Yud Kei Vav Kei like that will end up summing to 45, which is Shem Ma. And Shem Ban is 52. When you have the letters, it's like Ma'aras HaMachpelah, it's kefel, kaful, double. The letters are spelled in a double way. Hey is hey, hey, and Vav is Vav, Vav. And then you get 52. So that's Shem Ban. Another way to look at Shem Ma and Shem Ban is Ratzo Vashuv. Ratzo is associated with Shem Ma, which means the way one loses themselves, any being loses themselves in the infinite, and they subsume, they submerge, or they are battle, they are annulled to the infinite. So it's an inyan of aliyah, it's an inyan of a real bitul. You know, it's going out of your metzius to be subsumed in the infinite. That's the inyan of ratzo. And shuv is the infinite coming down to mislabesh, the elokus is coming down to mislabesh in creation, in the worlds. That's Shem Ban. And to appreciate that, there have to be worlds that are appreciating elokus that's coming into the world. Of course, this is another level of elokus that is more compromised and tailored and metzumtzam, but the appreciation is by experiencing elokus in the world, and that's Shem Ban. And this is bitul nayesh. It's not a complete bitul that the creation loses its metzius altogether, but it realizes that its metzius is completely depending on its source. So the bitul of Shem Ban is bitul al derech iskafia, rather than isapka. וכמו שנסבאר לאל, והספיילוס המלאכים הוא ממה שרואים ומשיגים החיוס שלהם הכלול במקורם. The hispilus of the malachim is that when they see and realize and understand that their chayus, the way it is included in their source, which is malchus or batzilus, umakor ze hu b'chinas Shem Ban. That what is this makor? Shem Ban, malchus or batzilus, creates the reality that feels itself separate. Yesh, shehu b'chinas malchus de atzilus. So Shem Ban is associated with malchus or batzilus, and Shem Ma is associated with Zo, with the male midos, and Shem Ban with Malchus, the female midah. So Shem Ma is a Kadosh Baruch Hu, the way he's Kadosh, and Shem Ban is the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu is connected already to Elokim and Adnai, the way Hashem creates and governs the world. So the Malachim are realizing the way they are included in their source, which is Shem Ban, שהוא בחינת Malchus דאצילus, הנקראת אמא תתה, that she is called, Malchus is called the lower mother. The higher mother is Bina, and the lower mother is Malchus. שהוא מקור החיוס דביה. So אמא תתה, the lower mother, is the source of chayus of Bria, Yetzira, and Asiya, the created worlds that feel themselves separate from their source. וגם מה שמשיגים איך שעצמוס אור אין סוף קדוש ומובדל, היינו בחינס העצמוס דמלכוס. Also, one thing that the Malachim are grasping is how they are sourced in Malchus of Atzilus. They can find themselves sourced. They can find themselves in their source in Malchus of Atzilus. That's like the other aspect of Malchus of Atzilus, the way Malchus of Atzilus relates to Biyah. But then Malchus of Atzilus also has its Pnimius aspect, the way it is part of Atzilus. Atzmus HaMalchus. They also realize that Atzmus HaMalchus of their source, the Atzmus of their source, is B'chinas Nisgav Shemo. This is included what we mentioned yesterday, last night, if anybody was there. Peggy, you were there, right? Last night you were there? No, you were not there. Nuchama not. Okay, we learned about it, Shmo. The Nisgav Shmo Levado. That even Shmo, which is Malchus. Malchus is the shame of Hashem. It's like a name. Name is not the etzem. Name is in order to relate to someone else, to the other. So Malchus is called Shmo, the name of Hashem. And even Malchus is Nisgav Shmo Levado. His name, even his name, which is Malchus, is Nisgav, is exalted and above worlds, and it's Levado. Nobody can grasp it. It's only Hodo al Eretz v'Shamayim. Only the Hod of Malchus, only a ray, only a radiance, a glimmer for Malchus is shining in Eretz v'Shamayim. What's Eretz v'Shamayim? Here, the Rebbe is not discussing it here, but in Eretz v'Shamayim is Gan Eden HaTachton, Gan Eden HaElyon. So Malchus itself, Nisgav Shmo, is higher. And the Malachim realize that. Uchmo, and like, V'hayam omed alehem milamala. The 12 oxen in the Mishkan and in the Mikdash, on which the Yam, the big basin from which the Kohanim were washing their hands and feet, was standing upon them. So the 12 oxen at the bottom represents Biyah, and the Yam on top represents Malchus, and Malchus itself is higher than even being a source of Biyah. That's what the Malachim understand, that only external aspect of Malchus is Shayach to Biyah, and the internal aspect of Malchus is above and beyond. כי כל השגתם הוא בבחינת מלכוס לבד, because the only thing that altogether, כל השגתם של המלאכים, all that the malachim can reach is only up to Malchus, וכמאמר בורא קדושים, ישתבח שמך, that Hashem creates holy ones, the malachim, who also the neshamas sometimes, but usually the malachim, that are in order yishtabach shimcha, to praise your name, malchus. They realize their source, shimcha levad, which malchus is only your name, it's not you. וכולם משבחים ומפארים את שם חולו. And all the angelic beings, the spiritual beings, are praising and glorifying the name of Hashem. Not even God himself, the name of Hashem. And Malchus itself, even that, Pnimius HaMalchus is also Nizgav, is also beyond. And it's only Chitzonius HaMalchus that is their source. וזה מה שהחיוס מנוסאות על ידי הכיסא, case א', we mentioned it the last time, פירוש א', so כיסא is case א', it says the החיות, חיות הקודש of בריאה, are מנוסאות, are uplifted through the כיסא. That's the Merkava. So the כיסא, you can divide it, כיסא is a throne or a chair. You can divide it to case aleph. Case is to cover, to hide. Lechasois is to cover, and aleph is elokus. So it covers the aleph. Aleph is Shema, as we already know. Aleph represents Shema. B'milui alephin, when you spell out Hey and Vav with an aleph, it comes up to 45. If anybody has question, you can ask. And that's Pchinas Adam, because Adam begematria is 45, is Shema. So the kisei covers up, which means Malchus covers up over the exaltedness of Shema, or the infinity of Shema. Now Malchus will create, is now the source, or the makes it possible for finite beings to exist when it comes down to Bia. V'kisu libchina zohu Shem Ban. So Shem Ban covers up Shema. Malchus covers up Zo. Zo is HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and Malchus is Elokim or Adnai that governs Bia. והם מנוסאות בהספיילוס האהבה שלהם מבחינה המדרגה זו. And the animals, the Chayos HaKodesh, the Malachim, are excited and reacting in a hispilus of great divine love from this level of Malchus. This is where we got to last time. וידוע, דהבירו ביטול דשם בן הוא בבחינס ביטול היש לבד כולו. It's known that the birur and bitul of Shem Ban, which is the maximum that the Nefesh HaBahamis can reach, first by Eish Milamata, by Isbonenus, how you can see Elokus in this world, Psuke de Zimra, and then by Birkos Kriyash, before Shema, Birkos Kriyash Shema, then when we are Misboinen on the bitul of the Malachim, the highest level of bitul that Nefesh HaBahamis can reach by itself is the bitul of Shem Ban, that's bitul hayesh. אך על ידי האבוידה הזו is בהסבוננוס ביטול המלאכים, but through this avoida of the hisbonenus of Eish Lemaila, the hisbonenus on the excitement of the malachim, מזה יבוא ויגיע לבחינס ומדרגס ביטול גדול מזה בקריאה שמע. So we had Psuke de Zimra, then we had Birkos Kriya Shema, and by now Nefesh HaBahamis is Bitul HaYesh, and now we're getting to Shema. In Shema, we are already involving the Nefesh HaElokis, and it's the Nefesh HaElokis that can uplift the Nefesh HaBahamis to Bitul B'Metzius. להיכלל באדם שעל הכיסא. So now, the כיסא covers up, that's Malchus that covers up, that covers up over Shema, over Zo, but now, through Kriya Shema, it's possible for Nefesh HaBahamis, through the bitul of the Nefesh HaElokis, to be included in Adam, Shema, she'al HaKiseh, Pchinas Pnimius, The Adam בגמטריה מה? Adam is בגמטריה מה? 45, והוא בחינת הביטול במציאוס. And that is a ביטול במציאוס, which means it's not that the yesh realizes its source, it's about losing the feeling of yesh altogether, of yeshus, losing one's yeshus altogether and submerging one in one's metzius is submerged and lost in the oneness of the infinity. והוא בחינת הביטול במציאוס הנעשה על ידי ההסבוננוס בעצמוס אור אינסוף שלמעלה מבחינת מקור לעולמות. So when you are still in a zone of malchus, of Shemban, you're always dealing with Elokus in relation to worlds. But when you are dealing with Shema, with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, with Zoh, then we are dealing with Asmus Or Ein Sof. The way Or Ein Sof has nothing to do with worlds. The way Or Ein Sof has to do with itself and its source. ובבחינס הוויה אחד דקריאה שמע חולו, next page. This is when we say הוויה אחד. This is the level where we reach when we say אחד in שמע ישראל, השם אלוקינו, השם אחד. כנ"ל, as we learned in the previous מאמר, יהודה עתה. שזהו בחינס ריש פי אש. We learn there that then we get to the level of ריש פי אש, the neshamos, when the neshamos are inflamed with the flames of fire, בבחינס שלהבת יוד קי ממש. This is the flame of Yud K Mamash. Yud K is above worlds. Yud K is Pnimius. Vav K is Chitzonius. Vav K is more shaychus to worlds than Yud K. Yud K is a moichin, which means the way one is in relation to himself. Vav K is midos, the way one is in relation to others. So shalhevet Yud K Mamash. V'zeu amitas b'chinas ha'esh shelemala. This is the true esh shelemala. There is Eish Shelemata and Eish Shelemata relative to the Nefesh HaBahamis that we mentioned before, the Psuke de Zimra and the Malachim, Bittul of the Malachim. But this is the Amitzas B'chinas HaEish Shelemala, because now we're not talking about the Bittul of Malachim to Malchus, we're talking about Atzmus Or Ein Sof. And that's the real Eish Shelemala, B'chinas Eish Havaye, the Nefesh HaElokis. This is the Eish of Havaya. Havaya, the way is above worlds of the Nefesh. The Nefesh HaElokis can see it in Shema. כמו שכתוב בתיקון הזוהר. Is Eish ve'is Eish. The Zohar says there is fire and there is fire. It's okay, it's okay. Is Eish the lo ke'Eish Havaya. That means that there is fire that is not like Eish Havaya. Oh, it says be'esh havaya. Interesting. There is Eish, the law be'esh havaya. There is Eish, there is fire, but not the fire in havaya, or fire of havaya. V'ainu, b'chinas rish pe'esh the malachim. There are the flames of fire of the excitement of the malachim. These are also rish pe'esh, but it's not the Eish of havaya, this is the Eish of Elokim. Eish of Malchus, not the Eish of havaya. Havaya is HaKadosh Baruch Hu, infinite, above worlds. שהוא משם אלוקים בחינת מלכוס. So the rish pe'esh of the malachim is from the Shem Elokim, from Malchus, צמצום, שייך לעולמוס, חולו. זה בדרך כלל לא בחינת אש של למטה. That generally, למטה there are different, relatively below, we also can define higher ash and lower ash, but generally, any age that is shayach, any spilus, any response that is shayach to malchus of Atzilus, that will be all in one way or another, one level or another, will be all included in the category of Eish Shelemata, the lower Eish. And that's connected with Shem Elokim. The ability to be filled up with love to godliness that is based on the appreciation of Shem Elokim and how we relate to Shem Elokim. Ve'is Eish ke'Eish de be'Eish Havaya. But there is another Eish, says the Zohar, which is the Eish of Havaya. Hu b'chinas shalheves yudkei the neshamos sheme'atzmos Or Ein Sof chulu. And this higher Eish of Havaya, hu b'chinas shalheves Yudke. This is the flame of Yudke, the neshamos. This is not the malachim. Malachim cannot reach there. It's the hispilus of the neshama, sheme'atzmus or Ein Sof. When the neshamos says the presence of atzmus or Ein Sof, not chitzonius or Ein Sof that shayach to the oilamos. Vehu b'chinas eish Havaya. So there is eish Elokim, eish Lamata, malachim. Nefesh HaBahamis can reach there by itself. And then there is eish Shelemaila, the real eish Shelemaila of the Nefesh HaElokis that is reflecting and reaching and understanding, or not understanding, because how can you understand or Ein Sof? But it reaches some kind of realization and seeing of whatever level of Or Ein Sof itself, above the worlds. Ve'hu b'chinas eish Havaya b'chinas Shem Ma. And that's connected with Shem Ma, not Shem Ban. Umikol makom, nevertheless, he makes a comment, it's not the highest bitul, b'chinas kol dmama daka, because the eish is melachim. There's a description of, first there is ruach, and then eish, and then at the end, kol dmama daka, when Eliyahu was in the midbar there in the desert, and then it says lo ba'esh and lo b'ruach, but it called dmama daka, that Hashem is in the sound of a still of a subtle stillness, quiet stillness, dmama daka, of a subtle quiet stillness. So there is a level that is called not rishpei esh. We were talking of flames of fire here, of excitement and avak like fire, but there is also a bitul that is called dmama daka, a bitul of a subtle, silent sound.
Like the Kohanim and their work?
They are bare feet, yeah.
They don't. They don't like b'chashash. They services b'chashash.
B'chashai. Yeah.
That's the
quietly. So that's a higher bitul than the eish, as it's explained in Likutei Torah. Uve'eish ze, but going back to our discussion, eish shelamala, which called eish Havaya, ube'eish ze nisraf v'nichla hanefesh habahamis legamre. In this fire, once the nefesh haelokis gets in Kriya Shema to connect with Shem Ma, with Shem Havaya, shelemayla min ha'olamos, or Ein Sof in relation to itself, then the nefesh habahamis is completely nisraf v'nichla. The ego and the animalistic soul is completely burning away and consumed with this fire of the nefesh haelokis, of the godly soul, bivchinas bitul b'metzius, in a level of bitul b'metzius. It's not bitul hayesh anymore, but it completely losing the sense of self separate from its source. V'zehu habiru de Shem Ma. This is the refinement of Shem Ma. There is a biru of Shem Ban, and there is a biru of Shem Ma. The highest level of biru, bitul b'metzius, that's bitul of Shem Ma, and the lower level of biru of refinement of bitul hayesh, that's the bitul and the biru of Shem Ban. שמברר, שם מה, is מברר מה שכבר מבורר על ידי שם בן. שם מה refines what already is refined through Shem, refines more what already is refined through Shem Ban. Because Shem Ban is also refinement, is how the Malachim, how created beings realize their source in Elokus. That's already refinement, that's elevation. But this is elevation of Shem Ban. But then there is the higher elevation, then from bitul to elokus that is shayach l'oilamos, there is a higher bitul to elokus that is beyond oilamos, and this is the bitul of Shem Ma. And that is Shem Ma shemevarer ma shekvar mevorar al yedei Shem Ban. That it refines what is already refined on the level and through Shem Ban. והוא להיות עולה להוויה בבחינת ביטול לגמרי. And this is to ascend to Havaya, to be in a manner of an entire bitul, completely. There's no sense of self separate from Elokus that is left. So this is so far a brief description of the avodah of the bitul, of tefillah, with the nefesh how the nefesh elokis is guiding the nefesh bahamis to different stages of bitul, all the way to Shema. But that's in tefillah, says the Rebbe. ואחר כך, בעבודה דכל היום, but then we don't daven כל היום. You know, many times you heard Hasidim said, הלוואי מספלל כל היום. Benoni is like a person who מספלל כל היום. And he said, הלוואי I could daven all day. Because when a Benoni davens, he can reach ביטול במציאות, at least temporarily. Anyhow, ואחר כך בעבודה דכל היום, in the avodah throughout the whole day, הוא גם כן בירור נפש הבהמיס. It doesn't end with davening, the biur, the refinement of nefesh bahamis. Our conduct through the day is a continuation of avodah, of divine service. Bifrat ba'achila, especially in eating. When we eat, we are continuing the avodah of bitul of the nefesh bahamis. The na'ama apum charba lichol. It says in the Zohar that bread, nama, is eaten by the sword. Charba, cherev, is a sword. So eating is a war. Al yedei shekofet ha'avaso, by imposing, by subduing, by suppressing his taiva, shelo le'echol ma she'eino mukhrach lo, not to eat what is not really necessary for his body. That's a war. To eat only what's necessary, and not to eat what is not necessary for the body. וגם מה שמוכרח, הרי הוא אוכל רק מצד ההכרח. First level is to eat only what you really need to eat. Second is you already have a good healthy piece of bread or a good salad, whatever healthy thing that your body needs, or a good source of protein and good, so you got healthy thing the body needs. You want that war, that part of the war. But then there's the next battle. The next battle is to eat it only mitzad ha'echrach, not because you enjoy it, but because you need to feed your body. You enjoy other things, way higher. ולא למלא תאוות נפשו. To eat it not to fulfill the taiva of his soul, of the nefesh bahamis, rather just to eat it in order to fuel the body with healthy food. כי אם בכוונה לשם שמיים. And the intention should be solely לשם שמיים, not for, I have healthy food, but I'm sitting down to have a good time. I'm sitting down to eat well so I can serve Hashem, לשם שמיים. That my eating should be a holy experience. My eating should be part of my service. I should be fully present, and I should make conscious choices when I'm eating that this activity should be divine. שעל ידי זה מסברר נפש הבהמיס חולו. So this נפש הבהמיס becomes refined. ויש בזה גם כן משהו בדרך כפייה לבד. And in these two, you also have the part that is כפייה, that is imposing, forcing. That's ban, והוא בירור דבן. So you impose on the נפש הבהמיס. ויש בחינס בירור דמה. So in eating, you also have these two types of eating. Both of them are holy, which means both of them are not done just for fulfillment of the animalistic instincts. But there are two levels. There is birur d'shem ban, and this, which is done b'derech hiskafia, and there is birur b'derech ma, of a tzaddik, eating like a tzaddik. כמו צדיק אוכל לשובע נפשו חולו. A tzaddik eats to satiate his nefesh. It's not for his guf, it's a spiritual activity, which means he deals with the godliness in the food. והוא מה שאמרו חז"ל בשתי אכילות הכתוב מדבר. And this is what רבותינו said, זיכרונם לברכה, in Menachos, we should look it up, בשתי אכילות הכתוב מדבר. The scriptures talk about two types of eatings. אחד אכילת מזבח, ואחד אכילת כהנים. There is what the מזבח eats, and there is what the כהנים eat. The כהנים אוכלים ובעלים מסכפרים. The כהנים eat, and the בעלים who brought the animals, the owners, Israel, who brought the animals, are being atoned through the אכילה of the כהנים. ומבואר במקום אחר, the אכילת מזבח הוא בחינת שם בן. And elsewhere it's explained that אכילת מזבח, if you want, we can look it up, but then we will be traveling away from the text again. I always have the debate, should we learn together Mar Makoimos or move on? In any case, it's very interesting that the אכילה of the mizbeach is called b'chinas shem ban. This is the consumption, the elevation on shem ban. V'achilas kohanim b'chinas shem ma. Kohanim represents the shema. וזהו גם כן עניין צדיק אוכל לשובע. So the achila of the kohanim, which means it's a priestly eating. It's a divine eating. It's a divine process. It's a divine ritual. It's not a physical ritual. It's like a tzaddik that eats lesova nafsho, to satiate his soul with the divine sparks. And to elevate them, of course. שנעשה הבירור בדרך ממילא על ידי בחינת שם מה. That when it comes to the achila of a tzaddik, the birur, the refinement, is done automatically, ממילא, naturally, על ידי בחינת שם מה, which means it doesn't require any imposition. When there is bitul hayesh, when is the bitul of shem ban, there is always force needed, there is imposition, because shem ban means that there is a yesh, and the yesh is compelled to admit and to subject itself to its source, to its creator, whatever it is, to something higher. So there is always an imposition in that. It's not mimele, it has to be done with intentional force and energy. It's kafya. But then biur al yedei b'chinas shema, this is biur mimele. It is done organically, it is done automatically, because one loses its sense of self separate from the source. And therefore, there is a total transformation here, which occurs organically and naturally and by itself, so to speak, in the presence of the infinite Or Ein Sof that is beyond worlds. וכידוע שכן הוא אופן הבירור לשם מה. And is known that this is the manner of the refinement of שם מה. וכמו שכתוב במקום אחר, as it says elsewhere. And we can look it up if you are interested. וזהו שם, I am though. So we might go more deeply. Yes, you are interested? We might go more deeply into the Shema, the bitul of Shema and Shem Ban next time. Yeah. Hashem.
Even that at the end we can do Chazar, because this is so important. We use it every day, all the time. You know?
Yes, it's part of our being. It's Ratzon B'Shov, it's our heartbeat, it's the Malach. It's a very cardinal issue. Yes. So we'll see what we can do next time to pick one or two Maramakoimos that are helping us to really to understand deeper. וזהו שאמרו רבותינו זיכרונם לברכה, ובזמן שאין בית המקדש, קיים שולחנו של אדם מכפר עליו. The Chazal said at the time we don't have בית המקדש, the shulchan, the table upon which the person eats is mechaper alav, atones for him. The table is very important. Very important. Always we leave bread on the table and salt, and we don't put people on the table, we don't sit on it, we don't put your foot on the table. Table is a mizbeach. It's a holy place where we do holy rituals. Eating is very holy in Yiddishkeit. It all began with Eitz Hadas, eating. It's all about, eating is the center of it all. It's how we internalize, consume and internalize Elokus. The Hashulchan mechaper kmo mizbeach. The table of a person atones like a mizbeach. ומה שמזבח מכפר הוא על ידי הבירור דבהמה. This that the mizbeach has the power to atone is through the refinement and the elevating the animal. שנמשך מבחינת התוהו שקדם חולו. And why burning the animal, and why refining the animal, and why bringing up the animal in ourselves to Elokus is mechaper. Why it's mechaper? Why it has the power to atone? Because the animal comes from Tohu. And Tohu has Elokus uncompromised. And therefore in Tohu there is no room for sins. There is no room for deviation. Tohu is absolute commitment to the infinite. And the animal comes from there. Can't deviate. So when you elevate the animal, then you have kapara. You got to Keser, Tohu. You got to Keser. You got to the place where only oneness governs. And therefore there could not be any sins that blemish. וכמו כן על ידי השולחן. And so too. So by the Mizbeach, by sacrificing the animals that come from Tohu, the origin of animal is in Tohu, origin of Adam is in Tikkun. So when we are makriv the korbanos, the animals ala Mizbeach, it atones Adam that comes from Tikkun, because the behema comes from Tohu. כמו כן על ידי השולחן. So too through the table, שעל ידי זה נעשה בירור נפש הבאמיס, that through proper אכילה, there is a refinement done to the nefesh habahamis, נמשכים גם כן אורוס דתוהו. When we are eating consciously, and we are eating לשם שמיים, whether it is on the level of iskapia, that we are making sure that we eat only what is necessary, and we're not eating just for the passion of it, but to feed the body so we can לשם שמיים, or let's stick for that, with that. So then we're doing that, or even higher, but here we're talking about Nefesh HaBahamis, then even though we don't have a Mizbeach, well, we have our Shulchan, and we do the Achila in such a manner, Nimshachim gam ken oros letohu. We are bringing down also, through this type of Achila, lights of Tohu. It's amazing, thinking about it. If you're eating properly, you bring down to your nefesh, into the world, lights of Oros Tohu. Velachen mechaper. And that's why it can atone. So eating properly can atone for sins. Isn't it amazing? וכמו שכתוב במקום אחר, we have a lot to look up. ונמצא ועל ידי אכילה נעשה גם כן הבירור דנפש הבהמיס כמו בתפילה כולו. What do we find? We find that through proper eating, there is a refinement of the nefesh habahamis just as in davening. So interesting, isn't it? That through proper eating, our nefesh habahamis gets refined just as in davening. And then in addition to that, וגם בכאן מזברר המאכל. And here, not only the person becomes elevated, the nefesh habahamis, but also the food itself. והוא הבירור דצומח וחי. It's the birur of the tzomech v'chai. I would like to add that the dalet should be part of it, of birur of domem tzomech v'chai. But I think it means here 86, דה צומח וחי. I don't know why it doesn't include צומח, דומם, because, interesting, because we eat also דומם. We drink water, we eat salt, so why דווקא צומח וחי? But anyhow, we need to think about it. There's some amyla or domim that it doesn't get elevated by that. Need to be looked up. But in any case, in addition to the self-refinement that a person accomplishes when he eats properly, when he eats as part of the divine service, then there is also the bio and the elevation and refinement of the different Sameach and Chai of the world, what the things that we eat. וכן בעסק משא ומתן. Also in business. כשהוא דבאי למהווה, when we do business properly with integrity, בלי שום נדנוד איסור לדבר שקר וחיי גוונה, without any trace of the prohibition of anything which is not honest, staying away from false and lying and similar things. ובלי ריבוי שיקוע וטרדה. So how do you conduct your business as part of your divine service? There has to be complete staying away from any lack of integrity and honesty and lying. There has to be בלי ריבוי שיקוע וטרדה. Not to have ריבוי, a lot, of being completely immersed and bothered by your business. As we had the Yom a few days ago, that a person has to relate to his parnasa as if it's already here. Not as if, like to really bitachon that the parnasa is here already. So when you're involved in the business, it's very hard from business people. People who make deals and business, it's very hard to be, on one hand, invested and, and engaged in successful, and at the same time, lo shakua, not sunk in, not completely losing yourself. It's part of serving of Hashem. You don't lose yourself in the business and forget about the service of Hashem. It's part of it. And tirda, and completely bothered by it and taken over by it, that it distracts you and takes you away from focusing on your day through divine service. שאינו מונע או מבלבל לעסק התורה והתפילה. So one has to conduct his business in such a way that he doesn't prevent or he doesn't hold back or distracts his engagement in Torah and Tefillah. ובפרט כשהוא בכוונה לשם שמיים. And especially, it's like, in business again, you have ban and ma. You have bitul hayesh and bitul b'metzius. It's two levels of bitul, so to speak. You have one thing is that you make sure, it's like sur mera, you make sure that you're not doing things that you shouldn't be doing, and you're not losing yourself in business by distracting yourself too much and so on. And the other one is בכוונה, בפרט, בכוונה לשם שמיים, that your whole business you're doing not in order to succeed in making money, but in order to לקיים מצווה בזה. That you are really motivated to be successful in order to do a mitzvah. And that's done through the doing of the business and with the money that your business brings and so on. כמו צדקה, או ללמוד במנוחה, whatever it is, it's all לשם שמיים. וכן הוא עושה באמס. And this is not only that he wants to do it for the sake of it, but this is how he does it. He really does it like that. This is how he lives. שהוא נותן צדקה ולומד. That he gives a lot of tzedakah, and he makes sure that the time that it gives him, to the leisure that it gives him, he spends that leisure time in learning. ויש לומר, דזהו ביאור דמה שבזה. This is the ביאור שבמה. In business too, you can have two type levels of ביאורים. That which is על דרך חזקפיה, that you shouldn't do anything wrong, and you shouldn't be anything lack of integrity. So the money should come in a clean way. It's like feeding yourself with the food that is necessary, just necessary for the body, and not food that is not necessary. And then you have the birur on the level of mind business. It's like when a tzaddik ochel lesova nafsho, that you are eating as a spiritual activity. It's done so the same thing here. The business is a spiritual activity. It's an activity that is supposed to be part of your spiritual pursuits. Mamash. And then, הרי הוא מברר את הדצח. חולו. Here, it does include domem. So I wonder if the comment on 86, or maybe I don't know. I don't understand why in 86 there he doesn't include domem, and because we do eat domem as well. And here in business he includes domem. Hadatzach domem tzomeach chai. So when we do business in a manner of l'shem shamayim, then we are elevating. And in business, there are all kinds of things that happening that we can steer toward Shamayim as well. Then the domem tzomeach chai that was involved in that business, which is the telephone, the plastic of the telephone, and the table and the desks and the computers and whatever, and the materials and the products, whatever it is, also is misbarer, and v'gam hanefesh habahamis misbarer, and also the animal soul. שהרי הנפש הבאמיס רוצה רק מה שטוב לו, ואין מניעה לשקר וגם לגנוב בשביל טובת עצמו. And there is no mania. For the nefesh habahamis, nothing holds the nefesh habahamis necessarily to lie, next page, or even to steal for self-benefit, לטובת עצמו. However, כאשר מונע את עצמו מכל עניינים האלו, when a person prevents himself from all these kinds of behaviors, מתברר ומתקן הנפש הבאמיס בזה. Then the nefesh habahamis gets refined and rectified. That's like בירור על דרך בן. ובמקום אחר מבואר, and elsewhere it's explained, דבתפילה הוא בירור נפש השכליס. והוא השכל דנפש הבאמיס. In tefillah, specifically, there is a refinement of the intellectual soul. Sometimes Hasidus says that there are two souls, nefesh haelokis and nefesh habahamis, and sometimes it says that there are three souls, nefesh haelokis, nefesh habahamis, and nefesh hasichlis. Usually the nefesh hasichlis, the intellect, is associated with the nefesh habahamis. Elsewhere it's explained that in tefillah there is a refinement of the nefesh hasichlis, the intellectual soul, the intellect, הוא השכל the nefesh habahamis. אבל הבירור the nefesh habahamis ממש, והן המידוס the nefesh habahamis הוא באכילה דווקא. So specifically explains that regarding the birur of the nefesh habahamis, in tefillah, the moichin of the seichel of the moichin of the nefesh habahamis, the seichel of the nefesh habahamis is elevated, is refined. But the birur of the nefesh habahamis itself, because the nefesh habahamis itself is mainly midos, we know that the nefesh haelokis is mainly seichel, and the nefesh habahamis is mainly midos. So the seichel of the nefesh habahamis is refined through davening, when a person is mentally doing avodah. But the birur of the nefesh habahamis itself, meaning the midos of the nefesh habahamis, hu ba'achila dafka, is dafka in eating. Interesting. So in some ways, eating is more important than davening. In some ways, if you really want to elevate the midos of the nefesh habahamis, which is the main aspect of the nefesh habahamis, that happens in the right eating. ומכל מקום, גם בתפילה הוא הבירור מידות הנפש הבאמיס. But don't worry, in case you don't want to eat at all, I'm not recommending, don't worry, in tefillah too, there is a birur of the nefesh habahamis, midos of the nefesh habahamis. But again, it comes through the seichel. So it's not as powerful. You know, the birur is coming through the seichel. But where does it happen? When you eat. When you daven, it's still conceptual. Okay, so the Nefesh HaBahamis is responding. Yes, it's responding, or the Malachim, there is an emotional response. Midas are responding. There is a birur, but in eating, it's all about the Midas of the Nefesh HaBahamis. And that's where it's happening even more. Ela yesh lomar, the betfila, so the tefillah also elevates, but betfila hu bekoyach. In tefillah, when you refine the Nefesh HaBahamis, it's bekoyach. He didn't really yet do it. You thought about it. You got excited about it. You mentally aroused yourself about it. So potentially you're ready now to deal with eating. But it's bekoyach, it's potentially. Uva'achila habirur bepoal mamash. And when you're eating properly, the birur, which means the separation between good and bad, and right and wrong, and godly and ungodly, is in achila, in eating. Velachem davka shulchan mechaper. And that's why specifically the table of a person is mechaper, atones. Shehu b'chinas habiru v'ha'akrava b'poal, which is the refinement and the sacrifice in actuality. When you want to eat chocolate and you're eating salad instead. וכל זה הוא avoida the ששת ימי החול. This is the avoida of the 6 days of the whole of the week, and then we will get to Shabbos, and then the Rebbe will continue to analyze avodas Hashem on different levels of ben and an eved.